Hey guys, it's Morgan and I'm back. This is not an official weigh-in video, but I just kind of wanted to come on here midweek just to kind of check in. I did weigh myself this morning and I am down to 302.2, which is so close to 301, which is so close to 300, and that is my immediate short-term goal for February, is just to get under 300. I'm not going to go over my weekly stats, but I started at 314 on February the 6th, and I'm on week 4 of the keto way of eating right now, so I'm super excited. And usually I film on my iPad or whatever. I have iPad, I have an iPhone, I have an SDLR, I think it's called. I have an actual camera. But I tried recording on my actual camera. It's just so hard to get the lighting right, and like the sound is off, and so it's just so hard to set it up. So isn't this shirt the cutest, guys? I know I'm ADD or something. But anyways, I just wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about my progress so far, and I was just really excited about that particular weight goal, whatever. I'm really happy to hit 302. So that's where I'm at. And one thing I just wanted to talk about really quickly is accountability, because accountability is so important for me. And you know, this is about me documenting my weight loss journey, and what works for me isn't going to work for everybody, but one thing I will say is that accountability is super important to me. Like, my brain will lie to me about food and how I use food, and so it has been super, super important for me to document everything I eat on MyFitnessPal. Now, I am kind of like by nature just a perfectionist, but I haven't been super perfectionist about every single thing for the most part. I have been on point though. I mean, sometimes I will eyeball stuff just because I eat a lot of the same things, and most things I will measure and weigh, but a lot of things I will just eyeball. At some point I might really get a little stricter about it and measure every single thing, but sometimes I'm having like a squirt of ketchup or something like that, I will eyeball the tablespoon and call it a tablespoon. And a lot of times, if I am not exactly sure, I will overestimate intentionally, just so I can be really honest with myself. And there actually was an incident on Thursday, and I just kind of wanted to talk about that a bit because it has to do with accountability, and it just reinforces like my need to be accountable. It was on Thursday night. We had dinner, and we had taco salad. We didn't use any chips. We just substituted any nacho chips for lettuce and just had a large amount of lettuce with, I think, taco meat and sour cream and cheese and salsa. And I did eat a little too much salsa because I didn't know how many carbs were in it. So once I already put it on there, I had to count it. So I was a little heavy on the carb count, but nothing super crazy. And what happened? Oh, so we ate dinner and I was completely satisfied. Now, I have been intermittent fasting quite a bit. I prefer to eat like only once a day or twice a day. I don't like eating a lot during the day. It just cuts in too much of my time, and too much of my life is focused on what's going to be for meals, and it almost drives me insane. So I prefer to eat 1 to 2 times a day, and I like sipping on my coffee. I actually went to Starbucks today, and what I get at Starbucks, because I'm on keto, is I get a venti iced coffee. Now, I used to be a heavy Dunkin' Donuts drinker, and that is what helped attribute to a lot of my weight gain, because I would legit go to Dunkin' Donuts. I'm just going to say it out loud, but I don't want to curse myself, but I love me some caramel iced coffee. As my go-to drink was a large caramel iced coffee with a little bit of extra cream and 8 pumps of caramel. And I'm pretty sure I was at least drinking 1,400, 1,200 calories just in that drink, maybe more. I haven't actually tried to calculate it, but just going off what I know. So this is what I get now if I'm out and about, or if I just want a quick, you know, I don't know, it's just kind of like a thing where I just kind of want a Starbucks. So This is a venti iced coffee, and I get no classic because the iced coffees traditionally come with a classic syrup. So I get no classic, and I get a splash or light heavy cream. And this is the lightest that I've gotten my heavy cream. And honestly, it doesn't really look like it has heavy cream in it. I'm just going to be honest. It kind of, I don't know, it doesn't look creamy, right? And it's like they'd only have to put a little tiny bit in this guy to keep it this dark and to have it have that opaque, I don't know if opaque is a liquid, translucent kind of coffee look, because usually that cream makes it a little thicker and you can kind of see it. But I asked for heavy cream and 8 pumps of sugar-free vanilla syrup. And it tastes good. I'm a coffee person, so I'm trying to like perfect my Starbucks experience, and I just need a coffee. And maybe that's a sign that it's bad and I shouldn't be doing it because I'm so dependent on it. But I'm gonna like probably reevaluate and revisit that idea later. Right now, I'm on week 4 keto and I'm doing pretty decent. Having steady weight loss. Today I was on the scale, like I said, I think I already said, I was at 302.2. So I'm having steady weight loss, and I am not perfect whatsoever. I have not been absolutely perfect. I haven't eaten anything that was carb, like intentionally. There may have been trace carbs, like for example, if they didn't put heavy cream in this and they just put like a low-fat milk or something, I'm definitely having some carbs and I just don't know about it. Also, I've had some like Caesar dressing at restaurants and they might have trace carbs in them because I'm not actually preparing that food myself, so I don't really know exactly, and I can only go off of what their menu tells me, like what their online nutrition thing tells me. So that's what I've been going by, and you know, I definitely don't guess it. I go off of their menu and their nutritional information the best I can, but I haven't been 1,000% in control of everything that goes into my mouth. I am a perfectionist, but I haven't been super crazy, vigilant perfectionist about every single morsel that's been put in my mouth. Like I said, like the salsa that had a little bit too much carbs for my plan in particular, but you know, it's still like I'm not like out there like having a cheat meal with carbs or having like ice cream or anything like that. But speaking of ice cream and what I was talking about to begin with, on Thursday I had my coffee and then I had dinner, which was the taco salad. And if you see in my last grocery haul, we purchased this item called Blue Bunny Sweet Freedom ice cream bars, and I will not be buying those anymore. And here is precisely why. For the last 3.5 weeks or so, I have been free of cravings. I have been super satiated. I haven't had any hunger problems. I have been doing really super good. And then I had one of those ice cream bars. On Thursday after dinner, me and Amaya were playing cards and watching movies, and we decided to have an ice cream bar. So we had one. After I had one, shortly thereafter, I immediately felt hungry. In particular, I wanted sweets. I started having cravings for sweets. I really wanted to eat. I felt immense hunger. I haven't felt that way in so long, and I was super hungry and wanting sweets. So the fact that there were like 10 more or 7 or 6 more ice cream bars, I forget how many in a box, left in the freezer was literally driving me insane. I was like a total crackhead, I'm not even gonna lie. And I ended up eating another one and another one. So I had 3. So these ice cream bars are keto kind of friendly. They're 4 grams of net carbs per, and there's 11 grams of total carbs per. That includes the sugar alcohols, which normally I wouldn't count the sugar alcohol or sugar, but that's what was in them. And so I had net 12 grams and total 33 grams of carbs, which is really high in the carb count, but it still wasn't like I was eating mac and cheese or a potato or a whole thing of like regular ice cream. It was still keto, but this is the thing. I was asking myself while all this was happening, I was like, what is the coincidence here? Like, is it a coincidence that I just had this ice cream bar and now I'm having this kind of like reaction to it? Or was this inevitable? Is this a byproduct or a reaction to not eating 3 meals a day? Is it a reaction to kind of intermittent fasting? Is this a reaction to being on keto diet? Would this happen eventually, or was it this, whatever was in this ice cream bar, did it trigger me? So I know that it's not like scientifically proven that it's the ice cream bar, but I'm going to say that it's a little too coincidental for me, and I am going to count it as it was this ice cream that had whatever the heck in it that triggered this in me. And the food did not stop there. I was so hungry for sweets that I said to myself, well, let me just eat something that I'm allowed to eat. It'll be a little bit over my calorie budget, but you know what? I'd rather eat something than be starving and have a mess up and eat all these ice cream bars. So I had some leftover taco salad that was in the fridge. And I also, after Maya fell asleep, I ate 3 pieces of ham, like sandwich slices, uncured boar's head, smoked ham, and 2 pieces of cheese with mustard rolled up. And I was slamming the water, slamming the Powerade Zeros, trying to hydrate just to get that hunger off of me, and I couldn't. It was just really crazy. So anywho, that's what happened on Thursday, and it was not that yeah, no, it wasn't a good experience, and so I will therefore assume it was the ice cream, and I will not be eating that anymore. And another thing that was really crazy is this whole last 3.5 weeks, I have been tracking everything on my FitnessPal. I have a recommended amount of calories per day, which is 1570, and sometimes I go over like 1700, sometimes I'm like 900, but on average, I've never done an actual mathematical average, but I'm assuming I'm somewhere in that department. And you can always go look on my FitnessPal. It's Miss Morgan Whit, MissMorganWhit, and or Morgan Lewis Whitfield at yahoo.com. So I always, even if I go over my carbs, which I'm still in the learning process of what I can and cannot have. Like I said, I had some salsa and I had a little too many carbs. And sometimes I had meals like I made chicken fettuccine alfredo minus the fettuccine, add in some zucchini. And I had no idea how high in calories that was actually going to be on my FitnessPal, and it was really, really high. And I was like, ooh, like I'm going to have to like really, really save that for like that's not like an actual feasible meal if I'm going to stay under a certain amount of calories. It just has so much cream and Parmesan cheese and everything that it just was really, really tough to stay in calories. So yeah. So I'm learning as I go. And my point that I'm getting to is that on Thursday, I was kind of fucking around, excuse my language, with my FitnessPal, and I was kind of like freaking out, and I was like, oh, well, if I tweak this and say I didn't eat a whole Roma tomato and I only ate a half, then that's not as many carbs, and then I could fit that other ice cream bar in here. And I just had to check myself and be like, Morgan, if you're messing around, like you're messing around with my FitnessPal, you're trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? It was just really messed up. And that's why I feel like accountability is so important, because your brain will lie to you about weight loss. Like your body is trying to hold on to these calories. It is not necessarily a natural thing just to lose weight. You're kind of like fighting your biology in some sense and trying to out trick it. And you really have to just kind of like be honest with yourself. And sometimes honesty is really, really hard in weight loss. And I'm learning that, because before I kind of, even my last video, I was like, yeah, I did pretty good. Like I did this and this, this. But as before, I actually went on and actually evaluated my meal plan for, what week was it? I think it was my week 3, and I actually have it right here. I'm actually going to pull it up. So, I don't know. This is for Monday the 13th of February, which was my second week, all the way up until the 19th. So, I was done week 1, and this was for week 2? No. This was week 3. This was last week. So I actually did my last video, And I'm kind of looking down, guys, because I'm looking at the data, the stats right here. So I kind of did my last video, my week 3 check-in, and then actually made a chart. And it was from the 13th, which was Monday, all the way to Sunday the 19th, and I actually loaded in here my calories and my carbs, my protein, and my fat. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to link that right here. So yeah, if you looked at it, you will see that in my week 3 check-in, I was like, yeah, I did pretty good on my calories. I was right around, but it looks, now that I actually examine it, you can see that on Monday I was over calories. On Tuesday I was over calories. On Wednesday I was very much under. On Thursday I was slightly over. On Friday I was quite a bit under. Saturday I was way over. And Sunday I was way under. So it's super fluctuating here. And I'm eating until I'm satiated. I'm not starving whatsoever. Then on carbs, you can see that it's pretty much the same, where there's 1, 2, 3, 4 days under and 3 days over. And then protein, I'm honestly not meeting. I have not one time met my protein goal, but I have gone over on my fat 1, 2, 3 times. So it's not a perfect science, guys. I'm not perfect at it. I'm just tracking it, but that's what I want to talk about, just accountability, staying honest with yourself. You don't really have to worry about what anybody else is thinking. You just have to be honest with yourself, and it's so easy to lie to yourself when on a diet. And I don't think it just pertains to keto stuff. I think it has to do with every diet, weight loss, whatever. I think it's just really, really easy to think you're doing one thing, but keeping yourself accountable with like science and measurements, science and numbers do not lie. So yeah, these are things like right now, like when I'm in forums, I see people say, oh, I've had perfect keto, perfect, no cravings, no blah, blah, blah. But like I had my first craving on, obviously I just talked about that, and I am not perfect. I'm steady losing weight, which is great because but this is something I'm going to have to look at and tweak, and I'm going to have to adjust. And like if I come to a place where I'm not losing weight, or I get to a plateau where if I'm not losing weight fast enough, you can look at this and you can be honest, and you shouldn't go by feelings. I'm like, oh, I feel like I did good last week. No, you should have the data. And that's why I'm really, this is just reinforcing to me that I really do need my fitness pal, and I do need to enter it. So I haven't entered tonight's dinner into it, but I'm going to, and I'm going to continue entering my food into my fitness pal. And some people, they don't really like to keep track. It's a task. It's a chore. It takes up a lot of time, and it's kind of crazy making sometimes, because having to track it is one more thing to do. But just keep going. And if you're not good at tracking every single day, just keep going and going and going, and doing your best. And for me, tracking my meals and eating the way I'm supposed to, drinking enough water, those are the top 3 things that I can do as like a it's more important than making my bed every morning. It's more important than working out every day right now to me. And it's really the most 3 important things I can do for myself on a daily basis, because these 3 things are what will add up to hitting my goals, which are: number 1, eating the best I can, making good choices the best I can right now. Number 2, tracking it, because tracking it is the only way, besides a feeling, which feelings are unreliable, and I have the data that I can look back on. And I have this chart, and it's really good to actually look at it and see it, because like on Fitness Pal there's charts, but they're daily, and this one I get to see it by each other. So I just made this kind of chart, and you can always just get a piece of paper and write it out. It's not a big deal. You don't have to do it on your computer. Let me just get comfy. I love this shirt, so cute. Yeah, so that's where I am. And one other thing is this: I am the kind of person, like, I get my nails done religiously. I probably got my first set of acrylics when I was like 20, 21, and I'm one of those people who I have mine done 24/7, 7 days a year, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. They usually stay on. If I do have them off, it's only for like a couple of days because I'm a nail biter. And if I have acrylics, then I'm not a nail biter. And so I haven't had my nails done since before Christmas because when I came home, I eventually took them off. I think they kind of grow out like around end of January. And so I was starting my diet soon. And I told myself, I'm not getting my nails done until I get under 300 pounds. Not because you need to be under 300 pounds to have your nails done, but because I wanted to motivate myself and give myself a little incentive. And so I really want to go get my nails done on Monday, and I'm not going to do it unless I get under 300, like serious talk. And I'm going to the Phantom of the Opera on Wednesday, so I have to hit that mark. So I'm just kind of motivating myself, and yeah. So basically, the moral of the story is this: I have been steady losing weight. Have I done it perfectly? No. I'm still in the beginning phases. It's still kind of like experimental to me, and I'm not perfect by any means. And yeah, so that's where I am. But I'm still losing, so obviously I'm doing something right. I probably do need to tweak it. I know that if I actually looked at this from a discerning eye, I could probably find some ways to eat less calories and perfect my carb protein fat ratios and lose more, and I might do that. But right now, where I'm just getting started on it, and also I'm not working out yet either, but I'm going to when I get under 300, so probably that's what's going to be happening in March. But right now I'm just really happy that I'm doing it, that this is working for me, because this is the most success I've had on any kind of meal plan, weight eating, diet, anything for like 1 or 2 years. So I'm really happy. Not stressing out about it. I'm eating really well, as in like I'm eating taste and flavor, and I have a lot of satiety. I'm not hungry. There's not a ton of restriction. I'm eating the things I like, and so overall things are going really good. So that's just basically what I wanted to talk about. Nothing else to check in with at this time. So I'm going to end this video here, and just I will make another video on Monday to give you my official weigh-in for for week 4. I do a week 4 update. And if you want to see the pictures of my weigh-ins or anything, just go to Instagram. That way you can see the pictures and everything showing my weight loss, so you know I'm telling the truth. So yeah, so I'm Morgan Lewis Whitfield on Instagram if you want to see it, and I will talk to you guys.